Previously on the Frontier Farmer. We need to clear the rest of the logs that we have here. So yeah, we're going to get stuck into this, get these logs loaded up nicely. And there we are. That's all the logs loaded up. Always a bit of a sigh of relief when we get to the wood storage yard safely. So I'm going to whiz round, get all of our signs collected up. And there we go. That is the equipment all brought back to the distribution centre. We've got a truck that appears to have brought our building materials. Now we are ready to start building our settlement. And there we go. We have completed construction and welcome to our new frontier settlement in the Dark Forest. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Frontier Farmer at the Dark Forest. We're now in a frosty February, and as you can see I'm starting today down by our new settlement. We built this in the month of January, and yep, we've been doing a few final touches to it. One thing that the Forestry Commission asked us to add is a small shop that our residents can buy stuff from, and good news is that we can now stock this with our oil that came from the canola and our honey, whereas previously we haven't been able to sell those. So fantastic, we've got a new sell point to provide our produce to, and also they said there was a place needed for storing wood. So we are going to use some of our wood today to make firewood and sell it to our residents. So that's pretty good. We've got a nice firewood shack here, but it is February, there's snow on the forecast, so we need to get our residents in and settled before the snow comes. And yes, we will need to provide them some firewood and a good amount of honey and oil and stuff, so they've got a few supplies to start their living situation in the Dark Forest. Now, we don't have a name for this settlement. I did ask if there were a couple of ideas, but I haven't had any. We are obviously near the lake at the Dark Forest, so I was thinking potentially Lake Point was a nice name for the settlement, but I'll let you guys decide. You can tell me if you've got any name ideas. But first of all, we are driving out of the settlement and heading over to Tim's old sawmill, because I hear that's where our residents are gathered, ready and waiting. They've been obviously transported over here. I don't know how, but they are here. And we are going to go and pick them up. Bob, or Dave, I can't remember who it is, has told me there's a bus there ready and waiting for us to come and drive them to their new area of living. And yeah, it'll be exciting to meet some of the residents. Past the old fuel station, and luckily now at the new settlement we've got a refueling point that's a little bit closer than this one. Here we go, we have made it. So according to Bob, Dave, the Forestry Commission have taken over Tim's old sawmill and are using it as a bit of a depot. So here is where they have stored some of the equipment we used previously. The international truck, the log trailer, the flatbed trailer, the bulldozer, wood chipper and the yarder, which we never got round to using. And I can see the wood crane down there, so that's pretty good. And this must be our bus. that's been provided for us to come and take the residents down there. Now, of course, I could have probably got them in the back of the pickup, but I guess the bus is a bit more comfortable. So we'll hop out of here and have a little inspect. And yeah, I haven't seen any residents yet, but I imagine they are... Oh, okay. There's a group of people standing over there. I assume that is them. They seem to be chatting away, so I'm just going to hop in the bus and get that ready for us to pick them all up. So we can enter here. This is a Robor original. Never heard of this, so yeah, let's have a little look at it. Fire it up. Okay, bit of a classic bus. Let's take a look on the inside. Oh yeah, this is looking a little bit old school, but nonetheless we will give it a whirl and see if we can get our visitors collected. Aha, so here we go. We've got our settlers ready to pick up, and I think I can see Dave or Bob there as well. So let's get the bus opened up and hopefully we can pick up all of these guys. I think I can see someone with their top off there. They've got high hopes for living in the dark forest in the winter. There we go, we've picked up everyone, so we can close up. I think Bob and Dave is going to stay here. So let's take this old bus over to our new settlement and get our visitors all settled in. I say visitors, they are residents now. They are going to be living here. So we'll have to come back and pick up the pickup once we've dropped them all off. Let's head on over there and get these guys settled in. I think everyone's getting a little bit cheery in the back, a bit overexcited. I guess they're very keen to be here in the dark forest, and I don't blame them. It's going to be an exciting living situation. Let's try and get them there all safely. Past the distribution centre. Right turn to the settlement.
And straight ahead of you, you will see your new homes. Welcome everyone. Good to have you here as residents in the dark forest. I live in the homestead across the water, so if there's anything you need, give me a shout. Let me just turn around here and you guys know where your homes are allocated, so welcome. I'll drop you off just here near the shop, and of course there's the fuel station and wood storage area over there, so if you need anything you can go and grab it from there.
There we go, we've dropped off a few and I think they're taking it all in with their houses. There's obviously a lot to go and inspect and get settled in, and oh, I think those guys look very happy over there. Must be their first time buying, first time new home. Yeah, they look very happy. And oh yeah, I think behind the bush there, the topless chap is sipping off the rest of his drink. He doesn't seem in a hurry. And chap over there inspecting his new log cabin. I think everyone looks pretty happy, so that's good. Right, we can close the bus up and give him a toot. We will see you later. Nice to see the deer still hanging about in the dark forest. We will be looking to put some hay in the feeding trough later on, just to make sure we are looking after our resident deer as well as our new residents. So let's get the bus back, we can pick up the pickup, and then the plan is we are going to get some firewood, well, some wood loaded into our firewood production, which Tim has reinstalled. Obviously he's been busy working the sawmill. We need to get some firewood created for our new residents, and yeah, I need to get that over there before the snow kicks in later on. Made it back. And good thing too, because we've got to press on, get that firewood ready for our residents. So let's just swing in here, park the bus up where we found it, hop in the pickup and get on back. And we will need the wheel loader. Oh, bus is rolling back. Don't think the handbrake's very good on this thing. So let's just make sure we get it fixed. There we go. Right, in the pickup. And let's get back to the homestead. Made it back. And we're going to nip straight over to where our forestry equipment is parked, because we need the wheel loader. And we're going to be getting the log fork so we can load logs into the firewood production. So we can just park the pickup in here for now. And yes, Tim has set up the firewood creating stand once more. Here it is. So we'll just have to ferry a few logs from the log storage yard into this, and Tim is going to run it to get some firewood produced for our new residents. So wheel loader is what we want. Trusty Volvo. And it's going to be a little bit different in the Dark Forest going forward. Of course, we're going to have some more residents nearby, but that's going to benefit us. We're going to have some individuals to sell some of our produce to. We've of course got an open garden running. We've got a bakery running, although that bakery probably is just there to serve our needs for cookies. I don't need the bucket, I need the log fork. I was going straight for the yellow because it matched the Volvo, but we actually need the log fork, which is on the end here, the black and red. And this is very trusty. We're picking up our logs. But yep, it'll be interesting what happens in the future in the Dark Forest thanks to our new residents. I'm sure they will create a lot of opportunity, potentially some problems, and yeah, I guess it is all to be uncovered. Change is good, and I'm sure they will bring a lot of change. Right, probably don't need to do too many logs, but what I'll do is I'll get a few logs ferried over there, and we can get some good firewood stocks running. So let's deposit. I think we'll start with logs, and we'll do 6. And yes, we normally load 3 at a time. So let's get that quickly dropped in there and get some firewood going. So I think 6 will do it for now. Let's see how much that keeps Tim busy, and yeah, see how much firewood we produce. And we can store our wood. That puts it into the firewood production for Tim, and I think we want to set it off and running, so let's activate it. There we go, we've got 11,000 litres. That's probably going to be enough for now. I think they are 1,000 litre pallets. So that's going to be 11 pallets, but we can activate Tim and get him working. I think it's pretty speedy at running all this through. There we go. I can see in the bottom right, it's working its way through all of that literage. So we'll let that run. And in the meantime, I think we'll switch the wheel loader over to the big bag lifter. And we can get some pallets of oil and honey loaded up. Big bag lifter is here. That's attached now, so pretty good. And we will need the flatbed trailer. That is a dollied one, as we can pull that with the wheel loader, and it'll be quite handy for unloading on the other side. Yes, near the horses. And the horses are keeping warm over the winter, which is good. And I think all our animals are doing pretty well, which is always good. Nicely producing, and producing efficiently as well. We've got quite a bit of wool from our sheep now, and I don't think I'm going to sell wool to our residents, but I think one of them might end up working in a spinnery that we create once we've expanded the settlement a little bit further. So yeah, we've got some wool that we could turn into fabric, and potentially we could start to make some clothes. Let's quickly check in how fast this is processing. We've got 3,000 litres. So I think I am going to wait for this to finish, because Tim is working his magic very speedily, and then we'll try and get all of them loaded, because firewood is the priority. Right, it's now 11 o'clock and Tim has been busy. can see all the firewood here, so I'm just going to spawn the last full pallet, and that is all of the wood processed, leaving a little bit in there, but there we go, last pallet spawned. So all there's left to it is to get this loaded. So I'll get the trailer probably turned around. I'm not sure we're going to fit all of these on here, but we'll try our best. And I don't know what the best angle to load them is, but I will work it out. So let's get this loaded up and taken over to our residence, and then it'll be honey and oil. And there we go. Last pallet sold, and they've all been selling for about 3,500, so that's pretty lucrative. Now I've had to do some unorthodox unloading when it came to actually taking the firewood pallets off, as my big bag lifter that I use to lift up the pallets obviously gets a little bit confuddled when it comes to unloading. Tries to grab the trailer, so I've just had to tip things off the trailer. So I think the residents must have been wondering what the hell I was up to, damaging all the firewood, but it's quite sturdy, so I think it's not damaged from us rummaging and tipping things off the trailer and then putting them into the firewood sell point. So we've managed to claw back quite a good amount of money, and you might notice that the Homestead bank account is not looking as good as it did. We were around 700,000, but let's not forget that we have a whole host of wood that the Forestry Commission gave us from the area where we chopped down the settlement. That is still in the wood storage yard, and that is still getting processed through the sawmill and selling as building materials. Planks long, wood beams, prefab walls. So every day we are fetching quite a tidy sum. So I'm not too worried. I think we are going to definitely work our way back to beyond where we were. So that is how we've taken payment, and we did obviously put a lot into the settlement, so that's why we're so involved with its running. Right, now we have done the firewood, we want oil and honey. So I think probably going the wrong way. I want to turn around and go and grab the oil from the windmill. Alright, we can park up here, and I think we'll stop for a little bit of lunch and then get our oil all loaded up. I think we've got quite a bit in here. Yep, 3,700 litres. So let's see if we can get in here and collect it. Right, got the canola oil all loaded, and in the time that's taken it has started snowing, so that is interesting. We will have to get this strapped up and go and fetch our honey, get that loaded up, and we can take that to the new settlement shop, where I think they are going to please to have some supplies. Obviously they can cook with the canola oil, and the honey they can use on their toast and in whatever ingredients and recipes they are going to be needing. So that is good. But yeah, I reckon we're going to have some snow setting fairly soon, and I'm going to probably, yeah, not pull into the garden, but I'll just pull up near the fence and we can get the honey loaded over the fence. That's probably for the best. In fact, it might be sensible for us to place another gate here at some point so we can easily get in and access the honey. Nearly done loading, and the snow is coming in a lot faster now. Well, I've had to come inside because the snow started coming down something fierce, and as you can see we've had quite a sizable dump now. But we did get all of the honey loaded, so now that it has calmed down a little bit and it's not blizzarding, we can go and get our oil and honey delivered to the settlement and to the shop specifically. There we go. The honey is loaded, as is the oil, but we are a bit buried in here, so I hope we are going to be able to get out of here. Maybe a bit of rocking back and forth. We'll be able to get out of here. There we go. That's good. Right, nicely strapped on, so this stuff's not going to fall off the back. Right, so we'll loop back out and around here, and luckily we are in the wheel loader, so quite capable of driving in the snow, this machine. Here's a bit of a beast. Right, I think we can drop the big bag lifter a little bit now and set course for the settlement. And I'm hoping that our residents have gone back inside now, because it is a little bit cold, and yeah, especially that guy with the top off, I wouldn't want him to start getting frostbite or anything. Now it's a little bit harder to see where the settlement road is in the snow, but I think it's here based on the gap in the trees, and of course the electricity lines is a good guide for us. Thank goodness we installed them, because otherwise we could quite easily get lost in the snow. There we go, we have safely made it, and I'm hoping that we can sell our oil and our honey to the shop. There we go, we can sell our honey. We seem to like it right on the doorstep. Now we're getting about $7.50 for our honey, and our oil is selling for 3,000 a pallet, so that is pretty good going. And there we go, that's the last of it sold. So I'm going to get the wheel loader back to the homestead, get it parked up, and I think the last job is trying to give our deer some hay with the feeding point that is behind that house there. Now I don't know the names of the residents, but I will find out. Just got to slow down here because there is a little bit of a bump where the snow does not fall underneath this entryway, so that's quite interesting. Yep, let's double back to the homestead. I think we'll grab the AMT. I think that's going to be quite fun to drive in the snow. We'll get it loaded with some hay bales and get that into the feeder. Now we drop the trailer off and the big bag lifter, and I think the Volvo needs a slight service, so we're going to put it in this shed over here and give it a service. Wow, you can tell how deep the snow is from when we go into the sheds. It's repaired small charge, and I think we left the beacon on, so we better turn that off. Right, let's grab the AMT. I think it's over here near the mixing wagon, and we can get some hay. There's a few starts needed. It's a bit cold, but there we go, managed it. And our poor animals, I think they are a little bit cold. It is chilly. And boy oh boy, I think I am stuck in the snow. I thought this machine was all terrain, but it's obviously a little bit tough getting out of this bit. Maybe it needs a little bit of a push just to give it some motivation. There we go. I knew it had it in it. Right, we want some hay, and I think the best way to get it over there is in the square bales. Oh god, there's a few that have tumbled out of the shed, so they're a bit wet. We probably want to get those used before they start to rot. There we go. We can definitely store more hay in the AMT in the form of bales than we can if it was just loose. Because I think the trailer does store about 850 litres and each bale is 400 litres. So yeah, it's optimal to use bales on this thing. So we better strap them on because we don't want to be losing any. Please tell me there's a middle strap, because otherwise we might lose that bale. No, there isn't. Right, okay. Let's get over to the feeding station and give the deer a little bit of hay, just to keep them happy, because do worry about our deer in the dark forest. We have displaced them with the settlement, so yeah, just to give something back. Alright, so I think the feeding station is behind this log cabin on the right, so I think I need to access through this gate so I can get behind it adequately. So let's try and maneuver through here. Go, I can see it tucked away here, and this log cabin here is going to get a great view of the deer in the morning if they are feeding. And yeah, to be honest, I think most people could get a good view of some wildlife and deer, because there's quite a bit in the dark forest and they do like to wander around. There we go, so we can put some hay in here and the deer can come and utilise this if they need to. Hopefully they will. Right, so that's the hay all nicely stashed there for the deer. Now, I think lastly, we're just going to check in with the residents, as one of them did mention about wanting to get a photograph, because it is move-in day, and everyone seemed pretty keen. So we'll head round to the front and see if we can find anyone. No one. Hang on a minute. Ugh. Thanks very much for that. Well, thanks very much for the heads up about the snowball fight, guys. And I can see you've come in winter fancy dress. You lot are going to catch your death. I can see you're going to be great characters to have in the dark forest. Come on then, let's get a photograph. Everyone say cheese! Ah, what a wacky bunch. I can see that they're always up for a bit of fun, which is good. And seems like we're going to have some character added to the dark forest from our settlers and residents, which is pretty good. So we're no longer alone. Well, we always had Tim with us, which is good. But yep, now the dark forest has got some more residents, which is quite interesting. But it's been a very busy day. We obviously picked up our new residents and we supplied them with some firewood, some honey and some oil, so they are good to start getting ready. I can barely open the gate through the deepness of the snow. Now I'm hoping that we are going to be into spring next time, and I think that's it for winter projects, so hopefully we're going to have some stuff to do around the farm to keep ourselves busy. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, or if you've got a suitable name for our new settlement, then feel free to leave a comment. But all there's left to say is I hope to see you again next time on the Frontier Farmer. And until then, I'll catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.